Hey everybody, just give me 1 second here. I am pulling up an important document I wanted to share with you. Let's see, sorry guys. All right, so happy Sunday everybody. I am going to be sharing some really important details with you. As you know, homelessness and this crisis we're in it just keeps getting worse. And instead of fixing it, our city keeps making it harder to open a homeless shelter. And they've piled on this incredibly exhaustive list of requirements that looks less like a reasonable rules and more like a really deliberate way to make sure the shelter cannot open before that critical ARPA funding expires at the end of this year. And so this feels eerily familiar to people who've been following along. Back in 2018, the mayor had said he supported a shelter, and then went on to give this impossible laundry list of things that somebody else had to do. So he just basically killed that project. And now there's actual really respectable nonprofits and the Bremerton Housing Authority who have bought this lot that's been vacant for a really long time. They actually purchased the land, and then suddenly the city has flipped the script with this another checklist, like deja vu, to basically my opinion is to stall this out, to completely stall this whole project until the funds expire at the end of this year. And so it's not hard for me to see whose side the city has been on all these years that I've been speaking up. And it's obviously this lucrative development ring of people and these well-connected interests. And it's not being focused on the people sleeping on our streets here in Bremerton, Washington. And to make things even worse, you guys, as we keep saying, they have completely shut down our public testimony. So we can't even speak at meetings anymore, even if it's an agenda item. And we're limited to just emails that don't seem to go anywhere. They just seem to kind of vanish, except for that really nice, that really super courteous city clerk who she confirms that she forwarded them. But that's all I hear from. So this is not collaboration. It's a campaign that's sacrificing vulnerable individuals and their pets too. I mean, a lot of these people have amazing, beautiful pets they're taking care of. And so it's sacrificing these women, men, children, and pets to protect the wealthy men, women, children, and pets in the community. We need to act now. We need to write the city council and to demand transparency. And you guys, you need to protest the loss of it will be a loss of over $1 million in public funding that we will not get, you guys. And we just can't stand by and watch this happen, at least not silently. You guys, you can speak up. So our neighbors are being treated as disposable, and we are all being treated as deplorable. If you're homeless or if you just advocate for services, we are just, they think we're stupid or something, and we're not worth it. So I wanted to share with you this email that Greg Wheeler had sent out. Where did I? He sent out to the city council and to Bremerton Housing Authority, and then I'll share the link to that email, so you can. I like it when you guys can see these things for yourself. So here's just a small list of the requirements that he's saying have to occur for the shelter to be built. Okay, so let's start zoning. So the project, I'm going to read this off of this email. So the project must conform to the multi-use zone of the Harrison Heights sub area plan. And that's, I guess it might be referred to later. It's HHSAP-MU. Wow, I thought medical providers used a lot of these acronyms. So let's see. Okay, that's a requirement. But meanwhile, aren't there people outside sleeping on the streets in this same neighborhood, and there's no safe or legal place for them to be right now? And so basically, doesn't it look like the city's holding up housing while these people are literally freezing out there and soaking? It's like pouring rain right now. I'm looking out the window. Here's another requirement. Indoor emergency housing permitted per RCW 35.21.683. These tiny home pallet shelters do not meet permanent building code and must be permitted as temporary encampment per BMC 20-46-090. I'm just on number 2, you guys. So let's think about that. So people are living outside right now in these makeshift shelters, and then they're insisting that everything be this permanent code compliant before even offering shelter. Isn't that ignoring like this incredible urgent human need and human right? It's like the huge crisis right now. And this is what we're talking about, I guess. This is what we're spending. This is what we're paying them to do. Here's another one. Requirement, floor area ratio, abbreviated by FAR. The minimum FAR of 0.45 is required. Okay, so okay, let's see what that means. I'm not really sure exactly what that means, but it sounds like they're forgetting the fact that people are literally sleeping outside in inadequate density, I guess you would say. It suggests that they're favoring this process over human lives. Here's another one. Open space landscaping. So common and private open space and sub-area plan landscaping, BMC 20.50. They require front yard setback, landscaping, and tree retention or inventory if removed. So meanwhile, people are like outside and they actually like have cut trees down. Remember when they cut all those trees down by MLK because it like provided shade for all these unhoused people, and so they like cut all that down. Sort of some aggressive tactics there. But then they're demand right now the city is demanding these really detailed planting plans while people are like outside lacking shelter. Are these misplaced priorities, you guys? It seems like a little odd to me. I don't know. That's just me. All right, here's another one. Crime prevention through environmental design. Okay, this is a new abbreviation. CPTED. So the project must comply with CPTED criteria per apparently the Bremerton Municipal Code 5.3.050. So meanwhile, people are like outside experiencing really incredibly unsafe conditions like every single night. And then saying that this crime prevention through environmental design, CPTED, that's a barrier to a shelter without providing like this interim safety that we've been lacking for years. Isn't that really hypocritical? Yeah, it is. It's really hypocritical. All right, moving on. Let's see. Setbacks and fencing. Oh, goodness. 20-foot setback from all property lines, 40 feet where adjacent to residential, 6-foot site obscuring fence on property lines, 10-foot setback for fences over 4 feet from property line, Bremerton Municipal Code 20.46.090 and 20.46.020. Okay, so we're going to require that, but meanwhile, there's literally children and women and unhoused people who are forced basically to sleep on our streets there, which are unlit in the dark and there's no like protected fences or privacy. And so they're like wanting us to have all of this like fence geometry before they actually shelter our women and children who are sleeping on the streets. This is so odd, you guys. All right, another one, lighting and a photometric plan. Interesting. So we must submit a photometric plan per Bremerton Municipal Code 20.44.110 that shows lighting does not intrude into neighboring properties or sky. Okay, well, when I'm outside at night with people who are unhoused and suffering, they don't have any safe lighting right now. And I guess maybe we should make some diagrams that the city should follow so that they can provide life-saving light and shelter out there. Why aren't they doing it? Why are they saying we have to, why aren't they doing it? You know what I mean? Oh gosh, you guys, this list is like 1,000,000 pages long. Okay, not 1,000,000. It's like 4 pages long in very small print here. Okay, trash dumpsters. So consult waste management and postal service dumpsters must be enclosed per Bremerton Municipal Code 20.50.050. Okay, so meanwhile, people are like having to store their belongings like on their body or like on their wheelchair so they don't set it like on the ground, because then they're like going to be called camping through the unconstitutional camping ordinance that our city is enforcing, which is unconstitutional and unlawful, and unfortunately they will pay for that later in the future. It will not be looking back at them very kindly in the future. We will not be. So this just seems like all of this logistical minutia is being used to like stall this project, doesn't it? Here's another one. Design standards. Development must orient to the street and a public node. I have to look that up. What's a public node? If you know, can you tell me in the comments? A minimum, maybe this is a node, a minimum of 60% transparency on facades facing sidewalks. Facades cannot be blank. Cannot be blank, you guys. If you want a homeless shelter, the facades cannot be blank. There are 4 secondary design features per Bremerton Municipal Code 20.70.070. Okay, so meanwhile, just go anywhere around town, people are sleeping behind these like fake blank facades, and the city appears to be prioritizing like architectural detail, like fakeness, over shelter, like life-saving shelter for people who are suffering and dying on our streets. And it's been documented by us for many years. Let's see. Here's another one. Goodness, have mercy on me. Building permits and codes. Building permits are required for each structure. All work must adhere to, good Lord, you guys, 2021 IBC, IEBC, IRC, IFC, IMC, UPC, IFGC, Washington Barrier Free Code, parentheses IBC, Chapter 11/A 117.1-2017, and Washington State Energy Code, abbreviated by WSEC. Okay, so at the same time, people are like out there living in non-code compliant situations, and it just seems like we are stalling and we're trying to prevent providing life-saving measures to a group of people in the community who don't seem to be cared about. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to read a few more. This is going to get out of control here. If I could do every single one, probably lost half of you. You know, if you're still here, wow, you care. Okay. You care about opening your mind here and seeing what's really happening in your own town. And you actually have a chance now to help save it if you know all of this. Here's an interesting one. Toilets. We're always talking about toilets. Utilities, water, sewer. Utility availability request required for new expanded water and sewer. Water main easement may be required. Sewer main extension required from Callahan Road. Sewer service will be private beginning at the property line. Okay, so we all kind of know, city, that right now nobody has guaranteed access to any toilets or potable water, and it seems like you're just impeding being able to get those basic services by this incredibly ridiculous email that you sent out. Let's just call it out for what it is. You want to do it this way, so let's do it. All right, I'm just going to read 2 more. Okay, there's dozens and dozens more. Here's another requirement. Fire alarm, of course. FDC hydrant requirements. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. let's not worry about the people suffering outside dying right now, but let's talk about this code. Fire alarm systems per NFPA 72, addressable with something and horn strobe. Remote FDC required with fire hydrant located 50 feet of the FDC. Okay, so currently there's like all kinds of tents and makeshift shelters and vehicles who are unprotected by any of this. And our focus and this long discussion about that we're doing now, that you sent this email out, it's completely delaying anything from actually happening and any sort of structure from being built by taking all of your time, your attorney's times, architects' times, everybody's time now, instead of just making this shelter and providing this mitigation that's obviously been needed for years until all of this like compliance obviously is resolved. Like, of course, these things will be resolved, but you're stalling this project out so we will lose the money. This is ridiculous. Last one, commercial kitchen. They have some rules about kitchens. All right, so the commercial kitchens require a type 1 hood with suppression. Meanwhile, people out there, you guys, outside your window in this community where we all live, they're not getting regular hot meals. They're not cooking very often. And insisting that the homeless shelter have this fully outfitted commercial kitchen before we can help save people's lives, it's just stalling this entire project, you guys. I hope, some of you understand what I'm saying here, and you're probably not even watching this anymore, but the city is obviously piling on this huge stack of this zoning, the design, the utility, all the environmental, fire, the building, procedural rules, that it's just slowing things down and it's driving up costs. And then meanwhile, like I've been saying, people are like outside and they don't have shelter. They don't have lights. They don't have toilets. They don't have basic safety. And insisting that we compose these letters to one another to run the clock down, and insisting on this perfect compliance before anyone can expect this long promised homeless shelter and people's lives being saved. It feels like the city really is valuing paperwork over people, and it really smells bad, and it smells like bad faith. It's bad faith stalling, and it also feels like they're playing favorites with these wealthy developers. We've seen examples where funds that were intended for low-income community projects ended up improving downtown facades for rich owners of these buildings, and no affordable housing, as promised, has ever come to fruition. So why is the hurry for some people to get their facades put up and their fake affordable housing put up, and then all this red tape for other people? You guys, we need to demand the city run fast. They need to parallel these approval paths, and they have to provide basic necessities right now that we've been begging for years. We have to have safe sites for people right now, lighting, heat, toilets, outreach, supportive services, while they're like having these long, lengthy conversations and emails that's running the clock down on this funding. And we have to hold the city to the same urgency and transparency that they expect from people who are building this homeless shelter. We're going to lose over $1 million in public funds, you guys, if they keep stalling. We can't. You have to speak up. Write an email.